Good evening, everybody. Welcome to East Bridgewater Board of Health meeting Monday, May 20th. Our first order of business, we just had our town elections on Saturday. So keeping with that order, we're going to reorganize the board. And I'm going to make a motion that Tom Duquette be the chair, Andrew Hudson be the vice chair, and myself, Rob Lyons, be the clerk. So I'm going to make that motion for those changes. So that's motion Lyons. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, second Andrew. Any further discussion? Well, the further discussion would be from myself. I just want to thank the entire team, both the board and Sandy and Jean Marie. Really enjoyed the last year. We worked hard to put I think a solid team in place. So there's the additional comments. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. All the time and effort and work that you've put into it. So with that being said, any other discussions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that passes. So we have a new chairperson. Congratulations. We have a new vice chair. And on that note, I'm going to have to exit the meeting, so if we could record that going forward for this meeting, it's Chairperson Duquette and Vice Chair Hudson. I'm not going to be able to stay, unfortunately. I have a personal issue that I have to take care of. And again, thank you very much.
All right. I'd just like to, I guess, repeat what Rob had to say and thank him for leading us for this year, and congrats on being reelected. And with that, I think we're going to jump to Jean Marie with the health agent update.
Okay, site assessments, obholes, perks, etc. We have a repair at 76 Sherwood Street, 319 Highland Street, 35 Dean Place, 1 Childers Drive, and 16 Roderick Terrace. Plans submitted for new construction, 752 Harvard Street. Repairs are 76 Sherwood Street. Agent approved with no variance as board request, and 60 Crescent Street. Systems under construction, 15 and 17 Daisy Lane, 112 Cedar Street. Repairs, 35 McCrae Drive, 243 Whitman Street, 88 Cross Street, 502 Summer Street, 340 Pond Street. Food inspections. There were no routine food inspections done in the last 10 days. I have been at Ocean State Job Lot. They had a problem with some insects and mice in there. I have 7 other food establishments in that strip mall. We've got them all under the same pest control so that we don't have creatures jumping from storefront to storefront. Ocean State has said it will be closed for another 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm expecting to do a final reopening inspection probably the first week in June. Okay. Housing, 91 Whitman Street. It's follow-up housing inspection for screens and bugs. Bridge Street landfill repairs, most of them are done. We need to put the fence out for bid, and that will be the next thing we'll be working on, and hopefully it'll be ready by the next board meeting. No emerging public health concerns beyond mosquitoes and the usual seasonals. The Salt Fair is on the Council on Aging on June 9th, I think. Nope, 6th. And we'll have the public health nurse doing cholesterol and blood glucose checks. We'll have tick removal kits there, first aid kits there, and some other items. And we'll have emergency preparedness items in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. PFABs, we're doing a hearing tonight. That's it for me.
All right. Any discussion?
Questions from me?
So 4 to 6 more weeks for Ocean State, huh?
They, the store was beginning to look pretty aged, and some of the tiling was coming up, and some of the ceiling tiles were pretty old and wet. So they're doing a total rehab. total remodel in there. It's due. It's about 40 years old, so it's due.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you might as well.
Yeah,
get
while
in
you're
there and
down,
Get what you gotta get done.
take care of it, yep.
All right. So we've got a few more minutes before the hearing, so we can jump into some action items. We've got invoices. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Localiview.
It's right, it's the enterprise, but that's what,
Oh, okay, all right.
That
So
was-
$165.41 for the legal notice in the
Correct.
Brockton Enterprise.
Right.
And then the second invoice for the nurse, $360 for bloodcheck.com for glucose and cholesterol strips.
correct.
I will entertain a motion to to pay the two invoices as presented.
I'll make a motion to pay them.
All right, I will second. Any discussion?
No?
All right, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Next, we've got the meeting minutes for the May 6th, 2024 meeting. Do you have a chance to review those?
I'll look at them.
All right. I will make a motion to pass the May 6th, 2024 meetings as presented.
I will second that.
Okay. Any discussions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And we might as well go right along to disposal systems.
Okay, 60 Crescent Street, East Bridgewater, from George Collins Group. They're asking for a variance to allow a sieve analysis in lieu of a perk test. The water analysis, it's too wet there. So that's the one for that one. The second one is 354 Bedford Street. This is a small lot in a bordering with vegetative wetlands, so it has a big problem with that. They're asking for approval in accordance with DEP policy to allow perk rate to establish for a sieve analysis instead of a percolation test. Asking for approval from section 310 CMR 15211 of the state sanitary code to be 30 feet from wetlands instead of the required 50. Asking for approval from 310 CMR 15212 to be 3 feet from groundwater instead of the required 4. And they are going to put advanced treatment on this,
All right.
okay? So you can only do a setback from wetlands and a setback to groundwater if you've got advanced treatment.
And
So they're putting a jet system in.
Okay.
Okay, and it would be deed restricted to 3 bedrooms, 330 gallons per day.
Okay. And then we got one more, or,
Those two are variances,
okay, so we
so
want
I
to
don't,
do,
I would suggest you grant the variances and, or whatever,
okay.
and then we'll go on to new construction.
Sounds good. I will make a motion to accept the two variances as requested.
We're not doing
There's three.
the third, Brown?
Brown's Lane, 42 Brown's Lane.
That's not on my bunch.
Local upgrade 2441?
There's 42, 42 Brown's Lane, East Bridgewater. I need that back up. Would you accept that?
Okay,
Yeah,
third one.
There's the third one.
I must have the old version. So the third one is 42 Brown's Lane, East Bridgewater, Collins Engineering Group, asking for approval from section 310 CMR 15212 to be 3 feet from, or 2 feet from groundwater with treatment, and approval for use of a sieve analysis instead of a perk test due to groundwater height, and approval from 310 CMR 15.272, which requires a minimum 12-foot vertical separation from the lowest tank invert to the pipe, and they're asking for 3 inches, which they'll have a monolithic and sealed tank.
Any issues on any of those three, other than the variance that we discussed?
No, high groundwater has been prevalent all this spring. It's been an issue. It's continuing. So,
All right, so I'll make a motion to accept all three. Any discussions before we vote, or? All right, I'll make a motion. Do I get a second?
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
okay, on to new construction, 572 Harvard Street, East Bridgewater. No variances, none allowed. So, it's fine.
All right, I will make a motion to accept the new construction as presented.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we've got one installer license.
GS Redlawn and Sons, the application's complete.
And that's just a renewal.
It is a renewal.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to accept the installer license.
I'll make a motion to accept the installer license renewal.
All right. Any discussion?
None from me.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, septic hauler permits. We have one, Legacy Pumping.
They're new and their application is complete.
All right. I will make a motion to accept septic hauler permit for Legacy Pumping.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we still got a couple of minutes. We've got two food service establishments. Lady Sunshine Coffee and Cheesy Chicks.
They're both mobile renewals and their applications are complete.
All right. I will entertain a motion to accept the food service establishments.
I'll make a motion to accept them.
Okay, I will second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we've got the camp, permit renewal for Camp Setauket at the Y.
Their application is complete pending inspection.
All right, I will make a motion to accept the permit application for Camp Setauket pending inspection. Do
I'll
I-
second that.
All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then that's our last action item. Got the healthcare update. Still got a few more minutes before.
The only, one thing that I would like to state is June 10th, we're having our rabies clinic, so we're just putting it out there again. So information is out on the Board of Health website. We have flyers around Town Hall, and I believe it is on the front of the town website as well. And we'll just be stating it at our next meeting, June 3rd as well.
June 3rd, okay. Sounds good. Any topics not reasonably anticipated before we go into our hearing? Nothing? All right. Got about 45 seconds to go, make it official, according to
Yeah.
my watch. All right. As of 5:15, We will open the public hearing scheduled for today. The East Bridgewater Board of Health will hold a public hearing according to MGL Chapter 111, Section 31. Today, Monday, May 20th at 5:15 in the conference room at the Town Hall, 175 Central Street, East Bridgewater, Mass, regarding a well installation moratorium of private drinking wells and/or irrigation wells in the vicinity of 100 Industrial Drive, East Bridgewater. Assessors map 95, parcel 100. Anyone desiring to be heard on the subject has been invited to appear at the designated place and time. Notice has been published in the Enterprise on May 13th, 2024. And as of now, we have no one here wishing to speak or be heard on the subject. We also would like to point out that we did have a prior meeting on March 18th where we had a presentation and also a subsequent paper written on the subject that I would like to accept into evidence as part of the hearing. With that, I think I would, I think the best course of action is to just discuss some of the main options for what we can possibly do, and then perhaps wait until next week to continue the hearing and allow anyone else that that has a desire to speak that couldn't be here today to get a last word in, and then we'll take a vote as a full board if that makes sense. Jean Marie, do you want to just go over a few of the options?
Sure, I will in a second. This site is 100 Industrial Drive. It's between Franklin Street and Central Street. It has been designated a hazardous waste site by the Department of Environmental Protection, RTN number 4-002-8937. The board will hear testimony, examine evidence, and review research regarding the presence of PFAS concentrations in the groundwater in that area. The previous use of this site was a sewage treatment plant. It took chemicals and items from dry cleaners, from floor drains, from firehouses, floor drain washdowns, and other various types of chemicals. So, but we've gotten some, as part of a review as a 21E site, transfer of property, they found that this has PFAS concentrations far in excess of what's acceptable to either DEP or EPA. This information is available at the Board of Health office. If you request it and want it, we will certainly send you the packet. Some of the options available for the board are from very severe to not so severe. One of the things the board can do is they can do a moratorium on private drinking water wells in that area. And the reason for that would be that we know PFAS have health effects that are injurious to both those who are immunocompromised, to children, to the elderly, and to pregnant women. The other thing is that we have the option of hooking up to town water, and that might be the best option for people for drinking water in that area. The other types of wells we have are irrigation wells, and we're concerned about this for two different reasons. One is, of course, chemicals. If you pull them in through your well, you can spray them on your lawn. Your children, your dogs, your pets can run through them, and they can be contaminated or get exposed that way. Number two is that if you have enough drinking water well, irrigation wells in the area, you could pull the contaminants closer to the houses that live in that area. We have a proposed 25-lot subdivision going in there in the next 2 years, so this is probably our basic concern. As of this time frame, there are no irrigation wells within a half a mile of the contaminated site. There are about 12 irrigation wells within a half a mile of it. There are no drinking water wells within the half a mile. So it's a opportune time to decide what kind of options you want to take. The board can decide that they don't want any wells in that area, Or they can decide that since DEP requires that it be tested every 2 years, that you put a moratorium on the area for irrigation wells for 10 years, so we can tell which way the plume may or may not be going, or for a shorter time frame of 5 years. So those are the two options you could deal with. The affected properties are listed on the Board of Health. You can get a list of them. Central Street, Washington Street, Whitmarsh Drive, White Pines Estate, Eclair Drive, Arista, Bell. Those are the areas that would be within the half-a-mile radius. Yeah.
All right. So we've got a few different options, and I think a few different options within each of those options in terms of the actual geographic area for any moratorium, or the other option is to notice the deeds in the area.
The other option you could do instead of put a moratorium on them is to put a notice on the deeds that says, please be advised that you are within quarter of a mile, half a mile of a contaminated site. That way people buying the property or transferring the property would be notified of that.
All right. Well, I think with that, I think the best course of action would be to continue the hearing through to our next meeting, which is,
We have a meeting on June 3rd and June 17th, so if you want to continue it to June 17th as well. You have options. You have two options.
why don't we continue it to, well, continue to June 3rd at this point. And then if we have any further discussion, any other feedback from the town, we can take that into consideration, and either take a vote at our next meeting or take a vote on the following meeting, which would be the 17th.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And if anybody would like information, you can reach out to the office, or you can view the March 18th presentation to get a little bit more background, and find out if if your home or prospective home is in the area that will be affected.
So will the board be making a motion to continue?
Yes, so I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the hearing to the next scheduled meeting on June 3rd.
Second that motion.
All right, any discussion?
None from me.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. And I think that's it for our
That's it.
agenda, right?
It is.
All right, well, in that case, I will also entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, any discussion? I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, aye, and that concludes our meeting, and we will be back here on June 3rd if anyone has any interest in the meeting or in the hearing.